FastLaneD. Y'all thought I died, didn't y'all? Y'all thought I was down and out. Y'all didn't think I was coming back. Well, guess what? I'm here. Right now, we are on our way to go pick up my V-Rod Muscle. Me and my boy Puke. I don't know if you can see him behind me. You might be able to in the mirror. You guys already know it's time for my favorite part of the day. The cold start, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Ivy. Woo. This marks a little over a year of owning the Harley, so I wanted to do an update video on my thoughts on the Harley. Do I still love this thing? Any issues I've had after a year of ownership, etc, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of the way that I've had 0 issues with this bike. I freaking still love this thing, man. And honestly, the longer I've owned this bike, the more I've fallen in love with it, which is kind of weird. You think that you would love something, we got dandelions. You think that when you first buy something you'd love it, and then after that maybe not. But it's like the longer I've had this, the more I love it, man. I've had 0 issues with this bike at all. Like, it's just been so reliable this past year. Only thing I've honestly done is oil change. Now, I do need some tires on it, which will get done before the riding season. Actually starts. I also have another confession. I find myself riding this bike more than I find myself hopping on the R1 when I go out to ride. And there's several reasons for it, but the main ones are this bike's just easier to ride. Like, let's say I just want to go out for a nice cruise. I can pull this bike out and actually go out and relax on the ride. On the R1, that bike's just so powerful, it does not like to be ridden slow. So trying to ride that bike slow is more of a hassle than just being stupid on it and riding it fast. Yeah, here popping wheelies. I love it. I also love this bike because I can ride with 600s and enjoy the comfort of a cruiser and keep up, no problem. And not just 600s, but sport bikes in general. Yeah, maybe if I'm out with a group of leader bikes and they're pushing it, I won't be able to keep up. But for around town, just hooning around town, I can keep up perfectly fine on this bike, which is awesome. Which is honestly the most riding that I do is just around town. I also remember in my first ride video I talked about not being able to toggle the dash down here, and yes, some comments helped me out to realize that this button, you just press it and you can actually toggle through some A and B trips. You can see your range on your gas, which is cool. Like right now I'm a little above half a tank and I got 64 miles to go. You got time and you got your miles. Just a little creature comfort. It's like having a gas gauge, and the bike giving me the range on the gas miles really just makes this bike a better daily than the R1, which I'm not dropping information that anyone with common sense wouldn't know, that the R1's not a great daily rider. It's not made for that. The sound of American muscle. Bald Eagles, baby. Hail to the yes, sir. I've noticed, and this is something that I'll preface that it's not a big deal, and I wish it wasn't this way, but I get more respect and more waves from other riders when I'm on this bike versus when I'm on sport bikes. Now, if I chuck the deuces to a sport bike, usually you can tell they're kind of surprised and like, oh, like at the last minute, they'll chuck it as well because they're not expecting me to do it. And then other cruisers just will always do it on this bike. Versus when I'm on the R1, you chuck the deuces to a Harley rider, there's a high chance you're not getting anything back. We got a Jixer, bro. The Jixer. How y'all doing? Good, it's a beautiful day. I need to get gas. Connor, if you were to guess where the gas tank is, what would you say?
I don't know.
That's the cool part about this bike, man. That looks like the gas tank, but this is actually the tank. They did that for center of gravity.
You catch my accidental wheelie.
Yeah, that was awesome. I thought you did that on purpose. Another thing I've also noticed with the two bikes is that when I have passengers, they honestly prefer to ride this bike with me versus riding the R1. And I don't know if the R1 just looks more intimidating and this bike just looks more comfortable, but even girls tend to choose to ride this bike over the sport bike, which you think it would be the opposite, because the sport bikes are just so sexy. Like full fairing plastic bikes just look so good with the aggressive styling, but they always end up choosing like 9 times out of 10 the cruiser over the sport bike, which just blows my mind, honestly. This bike's comfortable for what it is. It's more comfortable than a sport bike, obviously, but after about a couple hours of riding, you definitely start feeling it from the aggressive seating position. It's a comfortable bike, but it's not the most comfortable bike. That's not what this bike was made for. It's a muscle cruiser. Like, it's meant to be a more aggressive style cruiser bike. And excuse the no gear, I'm in the process of moving right now, and all my jackets are not where I'm currently living. Now watch this, they'll wave at me. Yep, see? Now the second couple waved at him, but the first guy didn't. I'm telling you, I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just how it is. Now we'll give an update on the headlight. The headlight still sucks. That has not changed at all. I do plan on changing that out. All right, we're going. To sum everything up, I freaking still love this bike. This bike has been great to me. I honestly bought this bike to flip it and sell it. I got it for a great price, under what it was worth, but the more I've owned it, the more I've grown to appreciate and love this bike for what it is. Now, will I keep this bike forever? Like I'm gonna keep the R1 forever? Who knows? I do have a lot of plans for this bike, so follow along for the build. We're gonna do some cool stuff this summer, especially as this channel starts to grow. And last thing is that I get compliments from both types of riders on this bike. Not just cruisers, but also sport bike riders tend to love this style of Harley. It has the power of what I'm used to and the torque, and it just looks badass with that fat tire back there. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. Always make sure you live life in that fast lane, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. FastLaneD's out. Peace.